our show was much more woman-centered than what I have previously seen in the Star Wars world.
What are you talking about?
What makes you say that?
I'm all the Jedi.
Do you accept my challenge?
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Late Night Star Wars Show. Welcome. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, the Grand Moff Rissman. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing so well, and so great to be back with you all. I'm so sorry I crapped out, last time? Two weeks ago?
I think it was 2 weeks ago. I didn't do one last week just because the episode was whatever.
Yeah, no, it was a nightmare on my side, so great to be back with you, and thanks for inviting me.
Did you get a new microphone?
I did. Does it sound okay?
Yeah, I'm getting an echo. I think it's too good. I'm actually picking myself up through your speakers.
No, my speakers are good. Do I need to tone? I can tone it down now.
Let's try this. Rabble, 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 rabble.
Hello?
I think we're good.
Okay.
There's a lot of feedback, but I think we're okay. Chat, let us know if it's coming through too much. So, hello everyone. Hello chat. Today is a little bit of a tough day. It's a weird intro to the show. Everything feels a little funky in my brain. I don't feel quite settled. Just because of what happened today. So if anybody doesn't know, there was an attempt on Donald Trump's life today. At a rally in Pennsylvania, from about 150 yards away, a gunman on a rooftop took a shot at Donnie's head and tried to kill him. Somehow, magically, by the grace of God or whatever happened, he turned his head and it barely grazed the side of his head. He dropped, and Secret Service was there shortly after to not only finish off the gunman, but also to get Donnie off the stage and get out of there. A sad day, a sore day. This kind of this mental illness, this sickness in people, where they truly feel like the only way to solve their problems is to try to kill a former president of the United States because they're so afraid that if he gets elected, it's going to ruin their lives. I hate to be that guy, but I feel like this is just the product of mass media, the hysteria that's created by large news companies and stuff like that. You have to realize that not everyone that's mentally stable ingests it. A lot of people who are mentally unstable ingest it. By no account am I excusing the person who committed this atrocity. I say rest in piss. I'm excited that that person's body is going to be eaten by earthworms and shit out while Donnie is still well on his campaign trail. So I have no problems there. But it is upsetting. It's severely upsetting. And so anybody who's feeling it tonight, I'm with you. I'm there as well. It's a weird time in the country. It's a scary time in the country. Stuff is very, very polarized. So I just hope you guys are doing okay. I want to reach out and say a prayer for the family of the gentleman whose life was lost during this assassination attempt, and then reach out to the one who's in critical condition right now. I'm praying that they pull through. I pray for their health. I pray for their families. I hope they're okay. And golly, dude, I mean, have you seen the footage from it?
I have.
So I just wanted to, because maybe, you know, it's weird these days. There's people get censored in different places and all kinds of weird stuff happens. So I want to pop it open. I want to show you guys just exactly what happened. I'm going to show you 2 other small accounts of it, and then we're going to wash our hands because this mofo doesn't deserve our attention. This action doesn't deserve our attention. This piece of shit is dead, and that's the end of the story. And Donnie's okay. But even still, I just want to go over it really quick. So anybody who hasn't seen it, you can see what happened. This stuff is scary, man. This is scary stuff. So here he is on the stage right now.
If you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
So it was at this point, 2 of them in the stands got clapped.
If you want to really see something,
and then that goes on. Basically, he stays on the ground for a while, gets back up eventually, and Secret Service kind of picks him up, and he says, wait, and then throws his hand up and says, hey, fight. Completely unfazed. I just have to say, big shout out, dude. If I just got shot in the side of the head, I'd be like, get me out of here, man. This dude threw his hands up in the air and is like, fight. So big shout out, dude. That's incredible that he was able to keep his composure in a moment like that. Absolutely, just some of the scariest shit, dude. But this is what's kind of bugging me about this. Look at this.
Binoculars, probably not. Barn. They were looking at us the whole time when we were standing by.
This is the guy who was underneath the building.
Did they see him? Probably not, because the roof, the way the slope went, he was behind where they could see. But why is there not Secret Service on all of these roofs here? I mean, this is not a big place.
Did you see? I mean, obviously, everyone, when the shooting started, everyone was very panicked. Did you see what happened to him at all?
Oh yeah, they blew his head off.
Okay, sorry.
Secret Service blew his head off.
Okay, we just be careful because we don't quite know who's watching, but be sure they shot the guy.
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Yep.
You saw that?
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So they shot and killed the guy.
Okay, I missed what he was talking about. It's like, what?
So he's talking about where in relation to the stage was the shooter.
I got it now.
Yeah. So the really weird, crazy part about this is that it was only 150 yards away from the stage, and I'm shocked and concerned at the fact that there was not any intersecting fields of fire from the sniper positions for every single rooftop in that entire town at the time he was giving that speech. That's the only part that weirds me out, makes me uncomfortable, because I know, at least from my point of view, anybody worth their salt in a situation where you're trying to counter snipe would have every single angle of the entire place completely locked down. So that part's kind of weird to me. I don't know what's going on there. I see Dog, I see you. I'm going to say hi to chat here in just a second. I know you wanted to come on. I don't want to turn this into like a whole, let's talk about the Trump assassination attempt, dissect it and, any of that stuff. I don't want to do that. There's not enough information out yet right now to kind of go through all of it. I think we will at some point, but I'm going to wait for more stuff to come out before we keep talking about it. But the last thing I wanted to do was just blast this guy's image on the internet. You get what you fucking deserve. There you go. Enjoy it, buddy. You earned it. Piece of shit. God bless the United States. God bless Donald Trump. Prayers to the families of the victims, and prayers to the gentleman who's in critical condition right now in the hospital. Rest in piss to the to the criminal who did this. And that's all I got to say about that. Keep your head on a swivel out here, dude. Stuff is going crazy right now. It's crazy. And I hate to be a Debbie Downer.
People are always going to be unexpected, right? And this was not on my bingo card today. It wasn't on anyone's bingo card, right? That he would have an assassination attempt at a rally, right? But for me, it just goes to how polarized we are right now, and how off the chain some people can be, right? So I agree with you. Peace and love to those involved, those still suffering from it. It's awful. It's just awful.
Yeah. Trump 2024. By the way, I think what just happened, they created a fucking legend. The absolute opposite of what they wanted to occur just occurred. They immortalized him. So, good job, dumbass. Now you're dead, and you look like an idiot.
It's not a political stream. We can talk about whether or not we think he's going to win anyway a different time. Let's talk about fucking how bad the Acolyte is. Let's
see what's up to the chat really quick. I know, it took us a little while to get to the chat, so this may take just a second, but I'd love to say what's up to the chat. Hello, AA, T. Davidson, Steel Leg of History, Star Wars Politics, Stephen Brown, Gohan Creates, Prometheus Creations, good to see you. Andrew Werner, Jedi Master Lawrence, Ronnie, Leia Rose, got a scroll. OG is here. What's up, Dan? Good to see you. Daisy Blossom, Flower Child, KC Cheetos in the house. Catastrophe is here from all the way down in New Zealand. Nathan Emmert, my first subscriber. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you, man. Dengar Renegade is here. Turd Ferguson, Star Wars Dog. Good to see you, buddy. Toasted Geek is in the chat. John Graber, the Space Jockey. What is a cat? 1972. What's up? Ghost Rider is here. Steiner Math is in the chat. Good to see you, buddy. Peak Obi-Wan is here. Hello. Great Pilgrim is in the chat. Good to see you, brother. Resolute Rebellion here. Joey the Tapeworm. What's up, buddy? Scott Bernard. Lombardi 1969. Scott Bernard. Matt Tuween. The Big Billy. And Margaret Riggle throws a super chat for $5. Says, no matter what your political affiliation is, there are a lot of angry Americans today. I agree. 1,000%. That's why I said this is a sad day for America, not a sad day for Republicans or a sad day for Democrats. This is a sad day for America.
And I don't want to keep this being very political, but I will say, I think it's very sad that it takes this kind of event for Americans to be angry, right?
Well, dude, look at the country we live in. Look at Twitter. We're so desensitized.
Well, I don't look at Twitter. It's not my thing, but
yeah. Well, Margaret Regal, thank you for the $5 and hello. Thanks for being here in chat tonight. Stephen Brown, good to see you. Tim Stock is here. Who am I missing? Was that everybody? Steiner Math. It's a member chat for 8 months. What's up, my brother? I've been wearing chainmail in your honor when I'm doing my Elden Ring streams. Good to see you. Says the media crying about people blaming them should look in the mirror. They've been feedbagging hatred for this man for almost 10 years. That's what I brought up kind of in the beginning, is that honestly, the people with blood on their hands, I don't think would even think to ever think that they have blood on their hands right now. But this is what happens when you foster mass hysteria, when you foster mass hatred for something just for views. And look, we've seen all of the footage of people, that work at these mass media companies saying, we do this on purpose. We do this. Why? Because it drives ratings. And then when you finally reap what you sow, they turn around and go, oh, we would never, we condemn this. We absolutely condemn this. And it's like, you created it, asshole. C-Creepio's in the chat. What's up? Aaron Ratliff is here. Good to see you, brother. Cody Eichholtz, my man, says, howdy, X-Wing. What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Everscale is here. Good to see you. Oh, I think I got everyone. Jimmy McKee. Venger is here. What's up, brother? Andy P, my homie, says, this guy is such a fed. Get the fuck out of here. Good to see you, man.
What's up, Andrew P?
Baracus is in the chat. Good to see you, man. T Davidson, I think I grabbed you at the beginning. Low Spec Linux Laptop, good to see you. Raging Rhino is in the chat. What's up, my dude? Skits 3D is here. Hello, did I make it to the bottom of the chat? Alan Copeland, Sam Double Lot, Right Rider, Mash, Boss Hog, Oh, that's why there's so many freaking people. Oh,
I was gonna say we're getting raided, so
We're
you're
getting
gonna have
spicy
to,
raid.
you're gonna have to go.
Okay,
Go,
all right, yeah,
go.
I'm leaving it there. I can't.
Mhm.
For the longest time, I have always tried to shout out everybody in chat when I see you, but holy crap, there's just too many people here right now. But it is so good to see all of you.
Welcome Raiders, by the way. We're
Yeah,
not trying
welcome
to.
everybody from SOSC Saturday. Good to see you. Dave Chandler hits us with a $2. Says, "Red alert! This is a wicked raid." Thank you, Sissa. Is she in the chat? Has she popped her head in yet? I don't see her. All right. So, anyways, well, everyone who just came in and raided, if you missed it, we just went over everything that happened with Donald Trump. Like I said, in times like this, all we can really do is give our perspective on what happened and then apply humor to it and try to move on. It's a sad day for America. This is truly, truly a sad day for America, but we do what we do best here. Try to have a laugh, have a drink, move on. It is crazy ass times we live in. So let's have a drink, let's have a laugh, and let's move on. You got anything to add to that?
I don't. I
feel
I
like
certainly
it's,
don't.
it's a fairly fine summation. I missed someone. Mountain Mutt, member for 3 months. What's up? Says
Mountain
fine.
Mutt.
Ignore me, you landlubber.
Nice day.
How dare you call me that? How dare you? Whew. Okay. Holy crap. What a way to start a show.
I know, right?
So it's crazy. I had the baby all day today because the wife was off. She went to the pool with the girls. They got drunk. They had fun. My mother-in-law got hammered. Ended up having to sleep in the back of the truck. We went for sushi. It was a whole
I thought
thing.
you said in the trunk. You texted me earlier. I was like, "Oh, in the trunk? How are they doing in the trunk?" You said, "No, truck." I was like, "Oh, I got it.
I did not put. I did not. That would have been in the bed of the truck, and actually, there was a horrendous lightning storm today in Reno, so that would have been super bad. But yeah, so I mean, it's been an insane day, and then obviously all the Trump stuff comes through, and then I don't get back to the house until about an hour ago when I scheduled the stream, and so my mind is just scattered beyond all recognition. So if you can help me walk through this, I want to talk about.
Tell me.
The last episode of The Acolyte.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I happen to know that you know what's going to happen, at least some things in the next episode of The Acolyte.
It's so dumb. This is the dumbest. This is the dumbest of the dumb.
I will throw a spoiler warning out in chat. If you guys are just dying to be surprised by the last episode of The Acolyte, I'll let you know so you guys can leave and go watch whatever you want to watch, instead. But let's start. Let's just start. So one of the first things we get from this episode, life-changing.
He's got the force detector, the versions detector. Yeah.
So the Wookiee has a metal detector. We've got basically a Star Trek away team right now, right? They're just like collecting samples from stuff, cuz. So if I'm not mistaken, I mean, these are Jedi Knights, right? This is not a scientific, these are Jedi Knights.
Well, at least some of them are. One of them might be a Jedi Master at this point, but
we need to collect some samples. And they're there for what, 7 weeks, and they're like, we ain't found shit.
And the whole time they're there, they never tell the Padawan why. He doesn't know why. He's like, I'm so pissed off. And then finally they're like, well, because you're pissed off, let us tell you about why we're here. I'm like, motherfuckers, you've been there for 7 weeks. You're just now telling them?
So Jedi Padawan Stonewall Jackson, who we see with the beard later on in the series, he's upset. He's like, I trained to be a fucking Jedi Knight, and I'm collecting swamp samples and putting moss in boxes for some reason. I don't know why. By the way, Joey Ebbs, member for 3 months, says, hey, Wing and Moff. Wing, if you will. Glad you're here tonight to offer some sort of distraction. After such an act of hate, we need to come together. I agree, brother, and thank you for being here. Thank you very much for being here.
But why? I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on this. So they all came together. We're going to go on a mission.
Yeah.
All right, fine. We're going to go to Brendok because we need to. And so everyone but the Padawan knew why? What the hell?
Well, in the Jedi library, right? Brendok was a wasteland from a hyperspace incident.
Yes. But
Which
so
you
funny.
casually reminded me was a High Republic issue, correct?
Yeah.
Got to do your homework.
But still, they're there to search for a virgins, right? That's why they have all these weird, stupid things, right? Including the Padawan. He's putting things in a collector, but he doesn't know why for 7 weeks. No idea.
They're testing the moss for virginses.
Yeah. And so just because now because we're like focused on it, they're like, well, let's tell you why, you're homesick. Let us tell you now why for the first time we're doing this. This is so fucking stupid. This
I'm a sucker
is
for dad jokes.
so stupid.
Some Carrie-Anne Moss. Is that what they're looking for? Some Carrie-Anne Moss.
Stupid.
I love it. Incredible. So riveting beginning to the episode. Riveting. And then we go to the campfire, and this is when we learn he's a little homesick. The Jedi just wants to go back to Coruscant. I don't understand why. Why does he want to go back to Coruscant so bad? Have we established something with this character as to why he wants to go back to Coruscant so bad? Was there something I missed in the first episode where he's the type of Jedi who never wants to leave? Was there anything?
No. They never said why. By the way, is this better? I was on the wrong audio. Is this better?
You sound great now.
Yeah. Thank
Okay.
you, Star Wars Dog. I was on the wrong. It was on my. Never mind.
Yeah.
We're better now. So no, they never. Again, the only thing was established was they never told him
Why they were there. Oh no, we lost him.
why. Now we get this.
Oh, there he is.
Never insult a Wookiee's cooking. I'm like, oh my god, never insult a Wookiee's cooking. I'm like, give me a break. And then he's like, I'm just homesick. But we never knew. This is the first time they're telling him about the virgins. Nobody. It's so stupid.
So we texted each other with the Wookiee cooking. There's a lot of the stuff that Leslie Headland does where she's like, I did a Star Wars thing. She's trying to reference, you should let the Wookiee win. They're like, don't insult a Wookiee's cooking. It's like, this shit is so on the nose. And it's just so blatantly like, you can feel what's the word I'm looking for? Like they think their coolness oozing out of it in the dialogue. Like, oh, we know Star Wars. You have to know Star Wars to know this one. What I remember, so for me, I remember when they were doing Mando, I think it was Mando season 2. It might have been Book of Boba Fett when he's building the N1. That was Book of Boba Fett, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And he pulls apart from the junk pile. And it was the pole that they try to use to stop the trash compactor. I'm like, that's a reference. That's how you do a reference, not don't Wookiee cooking. Fucking idiot.
So bad. It's so bad. And it ultimately didn't matter.
No. Also, we got these these swoop bikes with them big old booties on them. How'd you like the swoop bikes? They're better than the Book of Boba Fett ones.
But they seem to have exactly replicated the Return of the Jedi special effects.
Odd.
And I'm like, okay, but why? You have $22 million. Can you not do it better? Because it looked fucking awful. It looked awful.
So, what's his name? Soul finds the girls, and
He's
then
creeper.
finds...
He's a creeper. He's creeping.
Dude, is it me or was Soul way too into the kids?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's creeping. Mm-hmm.
So I remember there was a line in the episode where she says you formed an emotional attachment to the girls. I'm like, you've known her for 30 minutes. What the hell is going on? That's somebody else's kid. And you're like, I will steal the child. Like, whoa, dude.
He formed an attachment, and yet he could not tell them apart because he continues to mistake Osha for May.
It's
or
insane,
May for
man.
Osha.
Stalking. They cut every single corner they possibly could. What up, Chip the Monk? Good to see you, brother.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I was seeing some weird shit in chat. I'm checking that one out. So, basically, at this point now, we get a rerun of what episode was that?
Yeah,
when it
they
all
saved
burned
the
down?
money on they're just it's the same thing they did on episode 3, just from the different angle.
Yeah, exactly. So different angles,
Mhm.
and then we get this. So we find out what happens.
Yeah.
With, what are we calling this guy? He kind of looks like an Emperor Nero, doesn't
His
he?
name is Torben. His name is Torben. You can call him Torben.
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 So we find out what happens when his eyes black out. We get
Mhm.
this weird scene where
He's in his head. Oh, you
she's
want to
in
go
his
home?
head.
I can help you go home.
Could you imagine of all the different plot points you could have used in 1,000 different universes of why you would explain why somebody would turn on the entire Jedi Order, why you would completely destroy a Jedi? I want to go home.
It's awful. It's so fucking awful.
I can't breathe.
What the fuck are you doing?
And you know what? I have to say, because there's a lot of seduction going on in this series, she should have seduced him. What is this seductive? Whoa, you
Yeah.
tell me what you want. Tell me you want to go home. I can help you go home. Just tell me what you want. Tell me what you. I'm like, this is so stupid. This is so fucking stupid.
Maybe she was following the tenant. Write what you know. She's mad about the trip she took with her sister, and she just wanted to go home. She goes, this is gonna make some really compelling Star Wars.
Bro.
It's gonna be fucking incredible.
Awful. Just awful.
So she convinces him, and mistake me if I'm getting this wrong. Correct me if I'm getting this wrong. She promises him that he can go home if he only does what she asks. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what she asks is get the Jedi off the planet.
They're complimenting each other, right? She's like, okay, I can do what you want. Let's get out of here. Let's go do everything. Blah blah. And so, yes, you're right.
So you can go home if you convince your Jedi to leave. And he's like, sure, Mama Darkseid, absolutely. He's been trying to do that the whole time.
Yeah.
I can leave if I convince the Jedi to leave, but this lady's going to do Darkseid stuff to me to convince the Jedi to leave? What the fuck is going on here?
I can't.
Okay, so he gets torqued hardcore, right? They make it back on the ship. I'm thinking we have like an Anakin type thing going on here. He's going to turn on the Jedi because he's been possessed. Is that what happens? Not even close. Not even remotely close, right? So they run the test with the Jedi. What's her name? May lies. Osha tells the truth.
Well, May lies and also misrepresents what Mama Anastasia said about their ascension, right? So she says, "Oh, we got to sacrifice ourselves," right? There's a sequence of events here. This is the weirdest thing about this to me, right? Because they're portraying the Jedi as bad, right? But there's a sequence of events here. Again, we are seeing it from Saul's perspective, but there's a sequence of events that basically like everything is being reinforced. Right, she says we got to sacrifice ourselves and yada yada yada, and everything that happens, starting with the fact that they mind raped Torben to begin with.
Well, watch it. Great.
Everything that's happening is like, well, what would you do if you were a Jedi? Would you be like, oh, my bad, we're gone? No, I think you would want to take some action, right?
100%. The second I saw him go down, and he's got black eyes, and he's clearly being possessed, all lightsabers should be on. And it's like, release homie, or we're gonna cut all your heads off. That's the bottom line. You're attacking an authoritative figure, or at least the Padawan of one.
Yeah.
I don't know. This shit's weird. Dave Chandler for 5 says, I think the mistake we're making is applying logic to this nonsensical abomination of a Star Wars show. Pity Carrie-Anne Moss and Lee Jung-jae. I feel really bad for Lee Jung-jae because at the beginning of the series, everybody was saying this is the only guy that's getting a half decent role and acting well. And then that has fallen apart completely on the back end of the series. He's gone down a road I can't follow. Everybody's like, dude, what the fuck? So,
well, we'll see
right,
it here in a minute, but yeah,
dude, it gets bad. So let's go back to the planet. They're kind of arguing here. It's so funny. I do watch parties on these. I watch these and then I go back and I try to do a breakdown, and it's almost like I can't remember what happened. It's a phenomena. Okay, so
not bad, actually.
Torben's like,
he just wants to go home.
He's like, I'm gonna leave.
But this is when they're finally telling him. This is again. It's so stupid. This is when they're finally telling him why they're there. You know, they told him why they're there, and he's like, "Oh, I got the blood test now." You know, blah blah. Here we go. It's
they said M counts, right?
Yeah, M count. M count is very high, but they're symbiotic, right? They're the same thing.
Yes,
they are the same consciousness on two different bodies. Which is, again, if you remember, this is a theory that I had, the Fight Club theory, right? Which is like, is there one? Is there two? You know, who's hearing what? And I don't think we've seen the last of that yet, by the way. But here he's confirming this is unnatural, right? They've split somehow the consciousness.
Some might consider it to be unnatural.
No, I mean it's flat out unnatural.
So, so to continue that theory, I think they tried to create one Force entity, right? And the Force ripped it apart to create balance. This is probably how they're going to try to justify it.
No, I just don't think they had the special sauce yet, right? This is experimental. This is leading up to other things, right? So it just didn't work out. It's
leading up to more Disney Star Wars. So then we get what's her name? Anasea?
No, that's Coral there.
Not that one. Yeah, I was trying to click on this one.
Oh, that's Anasea, yeah.
Anasea.
Mother
Anasea. She was looking like the bad one at first, and then now we're kind of finding out that the Iridonian Zabrak, this one, is actually probably the bad one, right?
She's like, you know, get mad, mad, you know, fuck it up, you know, break that shit. Like,
I legitimately thought, I'm gonna see if I can try. Here we go. I legitimately thought they were gonna try to explain how she lit an entire mountain on fire with a candle.
They did do that, and the way they explained it was the electrical work. That's the way they explained it. It was the electrical panel.
That was the explanation?
100%.
Oh, that's retarded.
I know.
That's a piss poor explanation. But okay.
I am with you.
Let's go ahead and
that's how it's been explained, because it crackled, right? When we did this again, it crackled.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's what happened. It just overloaded the whole thing.
Here I am, the destroyer of man. Look at him.
and that thing she's carrying has no power to it. It's just like, I'm stabbing with this thing. It's like, oh my God.
I love that she has a halberd too. Like, of all the things that you could create in the Star Wars universe, it's a halberd without a sharp edge. I love that part. It's just a completely blunt fucking edge on the side. Like, okay.
It's ceremonial, right? It's a ceremonial. I'm stabbing.
Yeah.
So here it goes. It's just going up through the electrical panel somehow.
I wish we could watch the fight. I know I'm gonna get in trouble, but I really want to freaking
make sure, as long as the audio is not on, you should be fine.
I know, but I want to see I want to hear the word. She says I fucking died laughing, dude. Okay. We're gonna turn the audio on for this. Hopefully,
this is when May shows up, and again he thinks May is Osha here again, or for the first time. Oh God!
Okay, this is it.
What is she gonna say? I forget.
No. So I missed the part where the Iridonian Zabrak lady, she goes, "Fight me!"
Oh yeah, that's coming, I think.
But
she's got to turn into force smoke first.
She's got to turn into force spores.
Yeah, and by the way, This was so confusing when it happened, and since then, because this is what Leslie does in every post episode interview, she confirmed that Anastasia is becoming one with the Force now.
Yes.
And trying to take that and protect. She's becoming one with the Force, via the smoke. And look at, I'm like, what the fuck are you? I'm channeling my inner.
What the fuck are you doing?
It's like, do you not know what the Force is? She's becoming one with the Force with the smoky business and all. I was like, this is not what happens.
So while I was watching, I was doing the episode reaction, the watch party, and I said, I can't fucking wait to hear what kind of explanation they have for this, right? Because she keeps doing things in this show that you could theoretically at some point attach to some explanation to explain it away, right? And so this one, I was like, what Legends book did I not read? What comic did I miss? What is it that I'm missing that's going on with this? And then I read the article and she's like, well, I'm basically doing the dark side of the Force equivalent of like Force ghosts where they become one with the Force.
X-Wing, it's worse than that because she says, I think what's happening. I'm like, motherfucking bitch, you don't know what's happening. You think
you wrote it.
You think you are the bitch. You are the reason why we are suffering through this. And you say, I think what's happening. You know what? If you don't know, double fuck yourself, right? I certainly don't know. It's a Force smoke of what I don't. You think?
This is the problem.
Find someone who knows. Find someone who knows and come back to me.
Yeah, so this is the problem I have, is that you have somebody who's writing, early lore. By the way, this is sponsored by
there she
Lily.
is.
Star Wars Late Night is sponsored by Lily-Ann.
Oh,
she smells so good. What are you doing? Say hi to the people. Hello, people. You gotta look at the camera. She's like, fucking let me go, Dad. Hi, I'm just talking some smack. I'll be back soon. Cutie booter. So anyways, this is the problem that I have. You have somebody who clearly has a disdain for all of the work that George Lucas did, all of the work that the people who attached themselves to George Lucas did, all of the people who wrote books and had it approved by George Lucas to make sure that it was in universe enough for it to make sense. And then into the comics, same exact thing. They did all of the work to make sure that everything fit nicely into the universe. The only person who's allowed to make shitty, weird, diabolical changes that don't make sense is George Lucas. He's the only person that's allowed to do it.
I mean, but he surrendered that. I am with you, but he surrendered that opportunity when he sold the shit.
I get that, but still, people try to work with him on projects.
No, you don't get it, right? You can't still say that he's the only one who can do it.
I can absolutely say that.
Sold the shit.
Okay.
Let's not do this again.
He's the only person. What? Just say it. I know it's in your heart. Just say it. Just say it, Rizky.
No, keep going with your point. Keep going with your point.
The problem is when you have somebody who takes a project like this and disregards the word reverence, completely disregards the word reverence.
Yeah.
Or as our good friend, well, I mean, he's not my good friend. I just revere him. RMB would say verisimilitude.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's nothing about this series that we believe. We don't believe it.
It's operating in a completely different set of rules than everything we've ever seen in Star Wars before. And that's the fucking problem. And to make it even worse, now we're just making new shit up because fuck it. We've got a tribe of lesbian witches. How do they do it? I don't know. It's the thread. It's not the Force. Fuck it. What can they do? I don't know. Why don't we just turn them into Dippin' Dots and they can all of a sudden now float around the room like the great fucking Oz? Who cares? Fuck it. I don't know. Force. Like, dude, stop. Let's just stop. Let's roll it back a little bit. If you wanted to do a story outside of the Skywalker saga and you wanted to show the Jedi at their height, there are a multitude of books. There is a fucking encyclopedia of shit you can reference to get this right, buddy. And if you really wanted to dabble in the fucking dark side, guess what? There's a whole fucking planet with tombs, left, right, upside down, and sideways, filled with all kinds of crazy fucking Sith mysticism and lords and swords and spells and sorcery and fucking everything you could sink your weird little fucking fangs into. And you disregarded all of it for this.
But the problem is, on your point, the problem is, this series is not about showing the Jedi at their height, and it's also apparently not about showing anything to do with the Sith, right? This is a story about Leslie Headland's childhood. That's what this story is. This is about her and her sister and all the things that happened with her skinning it up, in her opinion, for a Star Wars story. She's putting a very thin veneer on it and trying to make it something that's Star Wars specific. And you know what? All deference to her familiar story, it fucking sucks. That
explains her quite well.
It sucks.
And here's the bottom line. I know this is going to come as a shock to all of you. I don't give a fuck about Leslie Headland's childhood. At all. Now, this is what I will say. It is always important to draw from personal experience when telling a story. That's how you create authenticity, right? It's kind of hard to create a compelling story if you don't at least identify it in some way. There should be something that you can draw from your personal experiences, your trauma, drama, whatever the fuck you want to call it. This is not that. This is just a weird fucking fanfic. That's the only way I can describe it. I have seen better shit on Reddit. Almost every day I go into Star Wars Reddit, I see better fanfic than this. There are shippers who do shit better than this. And I'm not joking.
I have to tell you, and you're gonna laugh when I say this, but that's fine. I bought a steelbook. This is the only Star Wars steelbook that I ever bought. Star Wars series steelbook that I bought. Can you guess what it is? I'm sure you can. I have the Andor steelbook, and I have been rewatching it. And I got to episode 10 today. And I'm like, this is the best representation of what Star Wars television can be, right? And I'm watching this bullshit, and I'm like, this is the worst representation of what Star Wars television can be, because it's just poorly written. I don't know who wrote this.
Leslie Headland.
She didn't write it, though. She didn't write the whole thing. She had other writers.
She came in, right. So she had a group. So again, we have a subsect of the story group right now. So we have something else. I think the story group obviously had to approve this before it went out, right? And
no, one person approved this before it went out. You know who it is?
Pablo. It was fucking Pablo, wasn't it?
No.
KK?
It was Dave fucking Filoni.
Oh, God.
Dave Filoni approved all of these scripts. And yes, you're right. When she needed help, Pablo helped her. But this nonsense that we're seeing here, this poor dialogue, all the rest of it, this isn't Dave Filoni and Pablo. This isn't them saying, yes, it's Star Wars appropriate. This is people who don't understand how to write a script for television. Not even for Star Wars. They don't understand how to make television.
Right.
I don't get it.
Well, so if we want to get like film, if we want to be true critics of this, and instead of just bitching about how shitty it is for the Star Wars universe, and actually sit down and talk about pacing, choreography, shots, lighting, cinematography, everything. That's there could be a 9-hour-long video we could sit here and make about all of the different problems that they have. All of the different problems that we have. And then we can look at the budget and ask, why the fuck did that happen? So
What's up, Kenobi?
My big beef. What's up, Kenobi? Is that
Uncle Kenobi?
Kenobi?
I just want to say
Holy
hi to Uncle
shit,
Kenobi.
what's up,
Sorry to
dude?
interrupt you, but I just seen him there in the chat. I said, "What's
Well,
up?"
that was a blast from the past right
Yeah,
there,
man.
brother.
What's
Good to
up,
see you.
man?
So anyways, yes, obviously pacing has been a massive issue. So to what you were saying, these are people that don't know how to write for TV, because a lot of us have become used to good writing in TV because of our favorite shows. Like, consider something like Breaking Bad, where every single episode has an establishing plot. There's a build-up, there's a climax, and sometimes there's a resolution, and there's a hook on the end, or sometimes it's just a hook on the end, and it brings you back for the next show. This has none of that. It has absolutely none of it. And then beyond that, it's so fucking disjointed in the episode itself. It's like, gas pedal, speed bump, fuck, I don't know. Are we stopping at Wendy's? I don't know. Gas pedal, fuck it. We're going to the dump for 15 minutes. We got to drop off some stuff.
But it's even less sinister than that, right? This 3 and 7 episodes, 3 and 7 could have been the same. 4 and 5 could have been in 1, right?
Yeah.
We've got back into the situation where they were like, this is a movie that we need to stretch out, right? When I'm rewatching Andor, right, all 12 episodes on their time, because they're not that, some of them are not that long episodes. It doesn't feel like I'm watching something that was big that they shrunk. It feels like I'm watching something that still could have had some more, right? This feels like bullshit, right? This is a bunch of bullshit. What we're watching is like, it's like, okay, let's just go. And, I don't know. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's a money laundering campaign. I have no idea.
You have to wonder where the fuck the money went. Maybe
Bro,
most of it was in the VFX for this right here.
We have one more episode to go. And other than the fact that I know there's going to be a space chase, there is nothing about the next episode that tells me that they're going to take not 22 million, but like they've been banking the money. Right, they've been banking the money they haven't spent on all these other episodes. So somehow in the last episode, it's going to be $100 million.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not happening.
It'd have to be 125 million to make sense of what's happened here.
It's not happening. This is the biggest bunch of bullshit I've ever seen. And as I have to tell you, as much as I hated Book of Boba Fett, as much as I was upset about Kenobi, this series takes the cake and then some. This is the worst. I just can't. I just can't anymore. And what happens in the finale? It's not going to help us here.
Let's talk about that a little bit. But before that, we have to get to the resolution, because this is where this part is where I started laughing so fucking, I was uncontrollably laughing during my live stream.
What were you laughing about?
I think people were just signing off, because I was laughing about the battle. I was laughing about oh my god, my favorite part of the episode. So whatever her name is, Anasanya turns into fucking Dracula.
Anasaya, get her name right, bro.
She turns into Dracula, right? And she like, I'm part of the Force now. And as she's going away, and then Soul stabs her as a fart ghost, and she comes back to a person. And of all of the things you could have said as a fucking dying person, she looks to Soul and goes, I was gonna let her come with you.
Well, but I have to tell you, listen, It's dumb. It's so fucking dumb because we know it's May, but in the context of that whole thing, he thought it was Osha, and he thought what she was doing in that moment was keeping Osha from coming with them because he didn't know it was May. He didn't know it was May in that moment.
I'm tell you something and
this
right
is
now, I missed
another
all of that, and it makes no fucking difference at all.
No, it makes a difference, right? Well, it makes two differences, right? He keeps saying that he knows he's like linked with May and Osha rather, and all that, and he can never tell them apart. And in this particular circumstance, he thinks that when she goes into the Dementor version of herself,
the Death Eater,
that she's killing Osha to keep Osha from coming with them, and it's May. He doesn't know that. He doesn't know. And this is what sets them on this path of
I feel like Peter Griffin. Oh my God, no one cares. It's so fucking bad.
And the only reason why I keep bringing this up is because it's relevant to the whole chain of events on what happens, but it's still stupid. It's still very dumb, right? But I get it. I get what they were trying to do. They just did it so badly.
So of all of the characters of the show, all of the bad acting,
Coral,
everything that we've gotten,
he's not dead. He's not dead, by the way.
This one has to be my favorite.
And
I don't mean that in a good way. I'm sure that whoever portrayed, I don't know this actress. I don't know who she is. I'm not ripping on her personally. I'm just saying the character and like how this was portrayed and her interactions with the Jedi and everything. Hilarious, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I have not fucking laughed so hard since God knows when. And this is this might be my most favorite part of the episode, where she turns into the Dust Witch, right?
Yeah.
Here we go.
She's getting into Kilnaka, right? She's like,
but this is the best part. So Bart dissolves into the Force, right? And they're all looking around for her. But then she does the Wizard of Oz voice. She boo. You must listen to me, for
Bro.
I am a dark side Force user.
Bro.
Like, where are the speakers, man?
I just can't. It's so
I
bad.
want to see if I can get her voice for a little bit. Hold on. I really want to try to get her voice. I don't want to get taken down. Oh, here it is. Yeah. There we go. So she's now part of the Force, right? This is what Leslie Headland's saying. This dark side user is now just a fart in the wind, part of the Force. But she can speak to the living world.
Brought him here. No.
Did you
Not
notice?
you, not you, brother.
They
The other
added
guy,
camera
the other
shake
guy.
when she talks like she's some kind of fucking god. Fuck.
Bro.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Bro, and the worst part about this is because we don't find her body anywhere, right? And again, because Leslie has to confirm everything in a post interview because
Right.
you can't get it from what they show us in the series because they can't write anything well to make us understand it. So in a post interview commentary, she said, "Well, no body, no dead," right? That. And well,
That's
are we going to
so
see her
fucking
again?
Disney Star Wars.
Well, she because of her species,
Ah,
you can figure out where she ends up, right? So she's going to go to Dathomir. Okay, who the fuck cares? I don't care about her. I don't care about any of these people. And
you
I
know what the
least of all care
justification's going to
about
be,
her.
Risman? Well, they brought Maul back. He's a Zabrak.
Yeah, but the Zaprakian ladies, they don't have that fucking. Oh my god! Don't get me.
She's an Iridonian Zabrak.
I can't do it.
So anyways,
do it.
Mama Odie and the Sunshine Gang are chanting, right? Do you see Mama Odie here? She
Oh
looks
yeah.
She
Oh
looks
yeah.
so good.
And there's the one YouTuber gal guy. Okay, we don't. have
The
to go
top
into
right.
that. Yeah, we don't have to go into it.
Is it a tranny? Is
Yeah.
that? I heard people talking about it. I didn't know that was a thing.
It's a
but yeah,
YouTube
okay.
trend. That's okay. Let's
Yeah,
keep
there you
going.
go. There's a tranny. So she mind grapes the Wookiee, as you can very clearly see.
They've been mind raping these witches that are in the right, that the Jedi should never have fucked with. They've been mind raping everyone since the very beginning.
They throw it out like candy on Halloween. They're like, you get a mind rape, you get a mind rape, you get a mind rape.
And now apparently the Wookiee is the
Wookiee.
stupidest one of them.
You know what the funniest part is? I guarantee after the episode in the jungle, these smug mofos were sitting back going, oh, they're upset they didn't get a lightsaber fight from the Wookiee, huh? You just wait until episode 7.
And you know what the worst part about this fight is?
All of it?
No, you can consider it to be an epic fight, but the reason why it ends is because Space Trinity comes back and like Scissor gets him on the head and puts him down.
Overpowers a Wookiee. That's crazy, right?
With her legs. Right, which is maybe not I don't know.
She's got super strong legs.
Yes, but they're all like
look at the VFX here.
And she comes from by the way, she says to him, we can't land the plane here, we can't land the ship here, can you come out and do your thing? Ooh, I can do it, right? And so that happens, and then all of a sudden she shows up. So what happened with we couldn't land the plane here? But I don't get it. And she's like, well, I'm gonna scissor him down and this and that, and then I'm gonna do it. It's so fucking stupid. It's the dumbest thing. What happened with the ship? Who's flying the ship? You couldn't bring the ship. Now you can bring the ship. You can't bring the ship. Now you're here. It's idiotic.
Rhino's gonna have a fucking field day with this one, and I'm
It's
really looking forward to it. Oh wait, no.
idiotic.
This is the best part. So they're
and she clears the Wookiee's
Clears the mind rape.
brain of them,
Clears
and
the mind
as
rape.
it's like a force feedback, they all die. They all die. It's a force feedback. She's like, oh, I'm gonna save you, and then all these bitches die.
Okay, so
I'm like,
here's
really
from a Star Wars fan standpoint. Here's my question. I can't fucking do. I'm really trying to talk.
Do you
about
really
this
have
like
a
Star Wars
question?
fan.
Do you really have a question about
I
this?
do. I have a serious question. So, as a Star Wars fan, okay, these people are coming across a shitload of dark side energy, right? All these witches are doing dark side stuff.
Yeah.
Any Jedi should know exactly what's going on, right?
Yeah.
But here's the crazy part. So he gets force graped, the Wookiee, and he's on the ground. And then Scissor Master Moss jumps on top of him. How does she know what to do to extract a
She's just
dark
clearing
side?
his mind, bro. She's just clearing his mind.
Who
Because they've said
what
this
is that?
whole time. They've said this whole time.
What power is that?
This is the whole problem. They've set up very coolly in this series that the Jedi are in people's minds. Like even Kamir's like, get on my mind, don't get on my mind, you know, and then they show up.
They have been, haven't they?
Bro, at the very beginning, they show up on the Nymonian ship, and then Yord's like, and they're like, no, don't get in my mind, you're good, we're good. So they've been going on this whole, you can get in my mind.
There is a lot of mind groping in the show. I guess I never really realized that. Yeah, it's all about mind
not
groping.
a thing. The Jedi mind trick is not I'm invasively in your mind. The Jedi mind trick is you're weak-minded. I can influence you in what I want you to do. It's never been I'm in your mind and I'm pulling things out.
It's not like Snape and Harry Potter or like Potter and Voldemort where they're like, battling in each other's minds.
It only exists in this fucking series, and that's why when she goes to clear the Wookiee of the infestation, she's like, I'm in your mind, and then she kills the witches in their mind as a result of that. It's not a thing.
So that's my
Not a
question.
fucking thing.
So she somehow knows what force power to use to extract the dark side energy from the Wookiee, and then I guess it was like pulling a tampon string or anal beads, like it just works its way through all of the witches and they all die.
And so Star Wars politics, you can bring up Star Wars politics comment because I'm with him in principle. And I have to tell you, Leslie Headland in a post-episode interview says that Indira kills them as she's clearing Kilnaka's mind of their influence. So again, I think it's dumb. It shouldn't have happened.
It's beyond
but
dumb.
He says, if you didn't get what we were trying to do, this is what we were trying to do.
Also, real quick, just want to bring this up. In this situation, why would you not just lift the girls instead of trying to hold up the gigantic heavy bridge?
You know why? You know why? Plot
Story.
Plot convenience.
Story.
Yeah. Yeah. But I have to tell you, the only thing that I liked about episode 7's viewpoint on this situation is my biggest problem. Well, not my biggest problem. One of my problems with episode 3 was, why didn't he use the Force to save Osha? Because when we saw it on episode 3, it was just him grabbing her, right? And so they fixed that problem for me now. Okay. The reason why he didn't use the Force to save her is because he was being stupid, using the Force to try and hold the
bridge
business up. And when that didn't work, he grabbed her as she was falling down. Okay, I get it. It's still really dumb, but I get why it happened, because you're right. He could have just been like, fuck the bridges. I've got these two girls in. It's so fucking stupid.
So, one falls. He gets the other one, brings her back to the ship. I have you. And you know what the funniest part is? They're totally trying to make a connection back to whatever it was, episode 1.
And by the way, there's nothing about this episode that explains to us how May survived.
Right.
Because remember, in episode
400
3,
fucking feet into a ravine.
Yes, but in episode 3, she shows back up at the death tree, right?
Yeah.
And here,
all those little butterflies are gonna catch her when she falls.
Yes,
all those little
we don't
butterflies.
We don't know how it happened. We don't know how it happened.
Fuck, this is an exercise in futility. So they get back to the ship. They're like, wow, I think we fucked up every possible way we could have fucked up.
And
now this little kid's almost dead.
By the way, Indira, the last remaining, because I knew Saul was gonna be fucked, right? I knew we were not gonna like Saul, right? But Indira was the catalyst. She was like, I got this. Let's just fucking say, let's just lie.
She's
right?
like a 16-year-old girl that got caught when she went out to a party. She's like, guys, let's just fucking lie about this, okay? They're never gonna know. Who's gonna know? They're never gonna know.
And on this point, Leslie Headland said again in an interview, she's like, this is intended to show how the Jedi were not supervised in their, in their exploits in the Outer Rim and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you know what, bitch? Fuck yourself twice, right? This is so stupid.
It doesn't make sense.
This is the dumbest of the dumb. I don't get it.
So explain to me. So I don't remember what she says in this ending piece here.
She says, if you turn yourself in, she's going to lose another parent. That's basically what she says. She says, you have to be everything for her now because you said that's what you wanted to do. And if you disclose all this, you fucked her again. That's exactly what she said.
Okay, that's fine. But let's not forget that this person is a part of a very large order that oversees the entirety of the galaxy, okay? When you go to file your fucking paperwork on Monday and they're like, hey, what happened on the planet? They're like, well, we lost fucking 12 Jedi, a shitload of people died, an entire mountain burned down.
But in this, you're conflating two different events.
Okay.
This is the flashback. They didn't lose nobody in this.
Oh yeah, that's right.
flashback.
Yeah. This is the early one. But they did kill a shitload of people.
Well, but they all covered it up. May started a fire. The fire killed everybody. That's what Indira said we're gonna go with, and that's why the only thing they didn't repeat.
We're still yet to be resolved as to what happens when they come
when-
back to the order after.
When Moshe wakes up, she's like, "What happened?"
Moshe.
She said, "Well, May started a fire and they cut it." Right? I'm
Yeah.
like, "Well, we replayed everything else, but okay, fine." But now they made it seem like he said all that because Indira told him, "We're fucked, so don't fuck the rest of it up." There's nothing about it that makes any sense.
This is such a shitty show. Okay. So final episode comes out on Tuesday night,
Mm-hmm.
which I'll be there for. I'm gonna do a I'll do
Sure.
a watch party.
I can
They
tell you
have-
I can tell you what happens in the first minute.
Okay, so I do want to hear that.
Can you guess what happens in the first minute of the finale?
They have theoretically, at the longest, probably 59 minutes. If I had to guess, it'll be 45 minutes, probably somewhere around there.
Sure.
To wrap up about 3 hours worth of fucking questions here.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not new behavior from Lucasfilm. This is not a Leslie Headland problem. We've seen this with every single show that comes out from
100%.
Lucasfilm.
100%.
But I'm really interested. And now you gave me a hint, but
I can tell you what
So,
happens.
hold on. Yeah, we need to say
the
to
first
everyone,
minute.
spoiler alert for anyone who doesn't want to be spoiled for the first few minutes of the next episode. I already know. If you don't want to know, this is your chance. Turn away, turn it off, go watch whatever you want to watch. If not, stay and listen to this.
I can tell. I know two things, right? I can tell you what happens in the very first minute, and I can tell you what happens to Saul.
All right, so let's get the first 2 minutes here. What happens?
In the very first minute, Kamir dies. The
super gnarly Sith Lord who just killed 12 fucking Jedi.
Yep, he dies.
Dead. But is he really dead?
But no, not to be afraid about what happens. He dies, but he gets brought back to life. So it's okay. It's okay. It was an accident. It was an accidental death.
Force heals.
Accidentally.
Force heals.
Well, I mean, she had the helmet on. She
Right.
had the helmet on. She couldn't control it. She
Mhm.
couldn't control it. He shows up. She kills him. She's like, "Oh fuck." She's like, so she brings him back to life. She didn't mean it. You know, any of the rest of us would be like, "Well, I just kind of killed the Sith guy. I mean,
Good
I
for
didn't
me.
I didn't mean to do it, but he's fucking dead now. Okay, end of story, right?"
That works
Nah.
out. She goes back to the
Nah.
Jedi Order. She goes, "Hey, she did. You know, he took me back to the place. I killed him. We're all
Yeah.
good."
Nah.
No.
It was an oopsie. I see it in the chat. It was an oopsie.
She did a boo boo.
Yeah, didn't
Little
mean
boo
it.
boo.
Didn't mean
Sorry,
it.
sorry for bashing your head in and killing
Yeah,
you. I
brings him
really
back.
apologize. Good
Brings
news
him
is
back
we
to
have
life.
force heals. So in the first minute,
1 minute in, 1 minute, we're talking about. We come back, and she's like, "Psh." And again, I haven't seen the episode, so if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I don't think I am. Right? It comes on. She's got that bullshit on, and he's like shows up. She's like, "Blah!" He's dead.
so I don't know if I told you this, Risman. I refused to make a video on Acolyte until the end of episode 8 because I am so tired of seeing in comment sections, "Well, you haven't finished the whole thing yet." you have to watch the whole show.
Bro.
I mean, stop.
Bro.
You have to watch the whole show. And so I refuse to make an episode on this. And finally, when 8 drops and it's all said and done with, I can't wait to make it because my favorite segment of the entire, I already see it in my dreams at night, is going to be the twins and how many fucking times they switch sides. I'm going to keep a counter.
So,
I mean, it looks like a dartboard. It's just
so I can't say that I still know how the whole thing's going to end, but I have a couple other tidbits.
Who would? It's like a drunken adventure at night. We're all fucked up with kebabs at 2:00 in the morning. God knows where the fuck we're going to wind up.
I think it's possible that something happens and the twins, you know, it's like Wonder Twins unite, and all of a sudden they become one person. I think that's possible. That's a possibility.
No. Wait, say that one more time just so I can let that seep in.
Wonder Twins unite, like they've already said it's like two, in I think they're
just gonna like congeal into one person.
Because we still haven't satisfied the whole Fight Club business. So I think it's possible they do. Okay, fine, but the whole how does Saul die? This is my favorite.
To your point. This is so fucked up that we literally can't predict it.
And so I have to say, before I go on to how Saul dies, the fact that we can't predict the finale.
No, that's not a good thing.
I was just going to ask you that.
There's 2 avenues, okay? There's a good avenue where, oh my God, what's going to happen? And then there's a bad avenue where you're like, this show is so fucked up. They could literally do anything. I have no fucking idea. So we're here. We're on B Street and Bank right now, just wondering where the fuck
So before I say anything else about the Senate and what happens to Saul and all these things, how should this series end? Right? What is the point? This is the biggest problem I have. Right? What is the point of this whole series? And how does it mean it should end? Tell me. I'm asking.
So the bottom line is why the show was a mistake from the beginning.
That's not what I asked.
No. This is gonna tie into it.
Okay.
This whole show was a mistake from the beginning because for this story to happen, it has to have never happened in Star Wars. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
In order for this story to work, it has to have never happened. In the eyes of the Jedi Council, in the eyes of it should have never happened. And so what's the point? There is no point. There's no point.
I get all that. This goes to me is, I always talk about this, the barrier to entry, right? You've talked about, we've entered, right? You're talking about the barrier to entry. We put it to the side, right?
Okay.
We're in the middle of it now.
Right.
Right? Well, not in the middle. We're at the end of it. So how do you think this series should end given what we've endured for 7 episodes?
I put this in a tweet. Do you remember? Some time ago, I put it in a tweet.
I don't do tweets.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, yeah, you do. You're on Twitter sometimes.
Sometimes.
So the only way this works for me, how it should end for it to make sense, is that Tenebris shows up. Tenebris shows up and kills fucking everyone, finds either May or Osha or both, whatever the case may be, and learns that some weird fucking witch cult figured out how to create life from the Force. He doesn't know how because he doesn't have the book on how to do it. And so he essentially begins the process of trying to figure out how to create life from the Force. Plagueis doesn't show up at this point, but that's how we know that he started the process. All of the Jedi are dead. Everyone's gone. He takes them back, basically as not apprentices, but as test subjects. Right. That's the only way.
So that's not going to happen, right? So we
know that's not going to happen.
There are some things about what you just talked about that may happen, but the majority of it's not going to happen, right? So So again, I haven't seen the last episode. I put some things together based upon what I've seen online.
I see your super
So
chat.
I
I'm gonna hit you in a minute.
say again.
I was just to chat. I see your super chats. I'll get you in a
Okay,
just a
yeah.
second.
So I can't tell you exactly how it's going to end, but I can tell you a few things, right? Number one, I think Plagueis will be kind of seen. I think there'll be a Plagueis moment.
If you tell me right now that some fucking Bith walks around in the background for 2 seconds,
No.
okay.
No, I think there'll be a Plagueis moment, and I think it'll be
A Plagueis moment?
I think there'll be a red eye.
Tenebris or Plagueis?
It's irrelevant. That part of it is irrelevant, right? So here's the worst part of it for me, right? Basil, the little beaver guy, the beaver guy, right? The beaver guy. I'm relatively sure that in the finale, there's going to be an epic lightsaber duel between Kamir, the stranger, and Saul. And they're just going at it. They're going at it. And for some reason, Basil shows up and like squawking, like talking to
the fucking beaver.
Talking to Saul, and Saul's like, "What are you up to?" And while he's distracted, Kamir kills him.
Great.
And whether or not that means anything else is going on with Basil or not, I don't know. But I think that's what happens with Saul. Right?
So do you remember the scene where Kamir floats in the forest and lights his lightsaber?
Yep. Save
that for Tenebris. If Tenebris floats into the jungle and just starts wrecking people, that makes sense. Okay. People are going to be fucking mad at me right now, okay? And you're just going to have to get over it. If at the end of the season, we got that jungle scene and Tenebris floats in and just fucking kills everyone and takes the twins, I'd be like, now this series makes sense. It makes sense now.
So what
I'd still hate the costumes. I'd still hate the dialogue. I'd still hate everything, but I'd say, you know what? At least it fucking fits.
So
minus the Kiari-Mundi.
So two other things, right? I think
the only one that says it.
I think there's a possibility where somehow the twins do join back together and become one. I think that's possible. And then secondarily, I think I don't know how all this is going to end with the twins or twins, but I think if all of the rest of it goes to plan, that remember we've been introduced to Mog. You know Mog, the annoying like Vinestras with Mog, and he's like, oh, you get sick in hyperspace and all that, and he's figuring it out and blah blah blah, whatever. I think she kills him possibly to make sure that he doesn't like yap about it to anyone else. And I think there is a possibility that we have a Yoda scene at the end and he cleans it up. We're gonna see a Senate thing. We're gonna be back on Coruscant.
It destroys Yoda.
Of course, why not? We've been destroying everything else in this fucking series. Why will we not destroy Yoda too?
We got Luke. Dude. We got Luke. We got Obi-Wan.
We know Vinestra is going to be with the Senate because they put out an article that showed her in her Senate garb. Like she has an outfit for being with the Senate. Right? I think we're going to see that David Hargrove he is supposed to be in it. I think he's going to be the Chancellor. Right? We have some weird things that are happening in this last episode that I think is going to show us it's a big cleanup and all that. But I'm still, I have to tell you, I still don't, after everything I've just said, I still don't understand the purpose of the show. What is the end of it?
We're gonna find out on Tuesday. That's for sure.
But I want to know how many of those things you can mark it down. How many of those things I just said actually will happen?
Yeah, I'm interested to see. I mean, the stupid fucking beaver, for the love of God, they had to because they have to sell a plushie. Is going to be
he is so important to the end of this, and I just can't.
Whatever. Clyde Dashing for 10 says Poochie goes back to their home planet. The end. Hopefully. I wish it would end that way. Then I wouldn't have to do a stream after talking about it. Joey Ebbs for $4.99 says May and Osha will defeat Khmer together and mind wipe Mundi and the Green Lady Whip Jedi.
Nope.
And then disappear, never to be seen again. 180 million smacks gone.
And what Joey just said will absolutely not happen. There's no way.
No, I agree. So I highlighted this from AA. I gave this a star because I wanted to talk about this. I heard or read an article that they're planning a season 2 and that they're giving it the green light to make it. So there's so much more to this that needs to be spoken. What she's planning on is doing a Tenebrous Plagueis show.
And Khmer doesn't die because she wants to explore Khmer's story. So we know Khmer doesn't die.
No. I'm giving a no. I'm giving an immediate thumbs down. Absolutely not. Please leave Star Wars. Don't return. You had your shot. You did it. Let's just get out of there. Do the Ryan Johnson. You pissed people off. You did what you needed to do. Get the fuck out of there. And then let's sell it to Apple. That's my thought.
Well, X-Wing, this show is it's very popular. A lot of people are talking about it.
Dude. Okay. Let me take. I just want to take 2 seconds, before we get out of here, before we do, whatever, if something comes up organically, whatever the case is. The fucking fandom with this show has been 900 times more entertaining than the actual show itself. It is fucking wild to see the hoops that people will jump through to try to justify the garbage that we're seeing on screen and saying you just fucking hate it because you're a LGBT
bro. It fucking sucks.
It just sucks. And you know what the bottom line is? If people don't agree with me, that's fine. Diversity of thought is the fruit of society. It's the greatest thing that we've been able to create as human beings. And yet, I can't help myself from seeing that one side is taking it a little different from the other. I don't know if you've noticed everything that's happened with Wikipedia, with Star Wars Theory, with guys like Drunk 3PO, with me putting tweets out. Little old me, the little X-Wing. The same shit is happening, and it is making me sick to my stomach. I don't want to bring up the name of one particular little blonde tweeter lady who happens to work for a particular magazine or whatever the fuck it is. I don't know. We've had run-ins in the past before. Look, the bottom line is your argument will not matter. As a Star Wars fan, whatever argument you have will not matter. It never has. It hasn't mattered since the sequel trilogy. A lot of people think the war ended after the sequel trilogy and everybody just moved on. It's not fucking true. I am this close, Rissman, to just laying down my arms and fucking walking away. I want to be done. I'm so tired, dude. I'm so tired. But then a show like The Acolyte comes along and it almost brings me joy. Does that sound wrong?
It does sound wrong, but I get it, right?
It brings me joy. It's like, do you see, reap what you sow? Look what you have created.
it's such a bad, me, my here again, and my tagline here is even Darth Simpus, right? So for me, I have really struggled to find any redeeming quality on this series from a Star Wars perspective. I have never had that problem before. In every other series that have come out so far, whether it's been Book of Boba Fett, whether it's been Kenobi, whether it's been Mando season 3, right? I could always find something that I'm like, all right, well, I get it. We can do something with this. There's something going. This is just a bunch of bullshit, right? And I waffle from being mad about it to being apathetic to just being like, okay, it's a one-off and blah blah blah.
What's the stages of grief of a nerddom, right?
Yeah, but I'm like, this is what they're giving me to watch for live action Star Wars. And so I'm going to evaluate what I think about it, and it's a pile of bullshit.
I don't think anybody's arguing with you there. The interesting part for me now is that you have people saying that if they just released a movie, it would fix it. And I think for a long time, Risman, you and I had the conversation that that's what was needed. I think that conversation was 2 years ago at this point, where that needed to happen. There should have been one on screen this year to really make the difference they needed to.
Yes, and the movie we're going to get when we get the movie in 2026, for fuck's sake, it's gonna be Grogu. And I'm like, fuck your own face, right? I am, me, I am so over Grogu. I'm over it, right?
They blew it with Mando season 3. They blew it.
And if that's our comeback to the business.
Actually, they blew it with Book of Boba Fett, I should say.
But if that's what they're going to do cinematically, that's their Hail Mary, right? Their Hail Mary apparently is Mando and Grogu.
That ship sailed a year and a half ago.
What? In 2026, anybody who cared about it as a child at that point, when it came out in 2019, by 2026, they've aged 7 more years, right? They couldn't care less. They care as little as I do.
I hate to make the comparison, but it was like Woody and Buzz Lightyear. They've moved on. They don't give a shit anymore. They don't care about Woody. Bro, that was when I was 3, I really liked that, but I'm 7 now. I like fucking John Wick.
So it's not that I really wanted the Rey movie to be next.
Welcome, brother.
But this bullshit about Mando and Grogu, I couldn't care less. Couldn't care less.
We got to sing our new member in. You ready?
Okay.
Everything is broken. Risman, I became a Star Wars YouTuber because I was excited about what was happening after the end of Mandalorian Season 2. I thought we were going to rebirth. I thought this was going to be it. And it's crazy when I look at the chart of what happened. We had the sequel trilogy and it went like this. And then Mando went like this. And then Season 2 stopped. Chapter 16 was to the fucking moon. And then it just straight down a fucking seawall. Well, I haven't seen a landslide that bad since fucking Vesuvius erupted. We fell off that bad.
It is so tragic, right? This is I was like, oh, you're being so dramatic. I was like, no, it's tragic. This is a tragic story.
It's a tragedy.
It's very tragic because we had all of what you're talking about. We had Andor, which was a one-off, right? Which they didn't understand, right? Which they didn't know, right? And Tony was like, fuck y'all, I'm gonna do my thing. So he did, right? And since then, the rest of it has been such bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, and I have to tell you though, I mean, I'll take Ahsoka seasons 2 and 3 compared to what I'm getting with Acolyte, but that's a different story, right?
Well, no, I mean, you're not wrong. So, I mean, you know, there's a part of me that would like to like Ahsoka because it's a reference to a time that I loved in Star Wars. And beyond that, we got Hayden Christensen back. But the bottom line is, what is happening with Ahsoka is still a bastardization of what we loved.
Sure.
It's just still cash grabby. It's key jangly.
Sure.
The thing that bums me out, like really bums me out about it, is that you had so much potential with Ahsoka to tie. You remember what happened in fucking Book of Boba Fett?
Oh, I do. But they fucked it. They fucked it.
So don't tell me that gives reverence and gets us to where we need to be in Star Wars. I mean, do I love seeing Hayden back in any fucking scene being Anakin? Fuck yeah! I'll clip the whole fucking show out and just watch 5 seconds of Hayden Christensen being Anakin again. I'll do it. But then they do weird shit and they ruin it and they fuck it up. Like,
bro,
Reverence is the name of the game. Reverence.
Bro, I think you will agree with me, whether it's Kenobi, whether it's Ahsoka, whether it's Boba Fett, that whatever they do there that we don't like is so much better than this nonsense that we're getting with the Acolyte.
That's a very fucking low bar, Rissman.
Okay.
That's what upsets me.
It's television,
it's a very
bro.
low bar.
It's television. They can just raise it slightly and we're good.
That's the hard. So I will. This is what I'll say. If they gave the attention and the reverence that they gave to Andor to Ahsoka and removed the overwhelming fucking chick power, it would be great. Because I don't know if you remember at the end of season 2 of Mandalorian, who stormed the fucking Star Cruiser?
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
It was all chicks, man. And everybody was like, fuck yeah. Everybody was like, dude, I want those chick action figures. Those bitches are fucking killing it right now.
Yeah.
It's great. And then Luke showed up. Everything was well, at least in my mind. I know a lot of other people didn't like it, and I totally get it. 100%. I get that in my side and the other side as well. But we're at the point now in Ahsoka, it was just preachy. Look at all these fucking these chicks run. Who runs the world? Girls. Like, it was fucking everywhere. It's like, dude, you got like.
I mean, we had Balin, we had Ezra. I don't think that's. I get you, dude, but I don't think that's super true.
1000% fucking Dave Filoni's wife's wet dream fantasy of what she wanted Star Wars to be. 1000%.
I 100% disagree with that.
Dude, it's gross.
I
It was gross.
I 100% disagree with your take there. It's just
so you're stoked on Sabine becoming a fucking master in 5 minutes.
I don't say I never said I liked what happened with Sabine.
Girl power.
I never said that. But I don't.
Well, you must be a misogynist.
I don't attribute that to Dave Filoni's wife, by the way. I didn't say I liked what happened with Sabine. I'm just telling you that I think what happened with Ahsoka from a Star Wars perspective was much more Star Wars than what we're getting in fucking the Acolyte. That's all I'm telling you.
I would agree. And detractors would say, it's a different time frame. You just don't understand that time frame. Fucking nobody does.
Nah. This is to me, the Acolyte is a throwaway series. And that makes it even worse, in my opinion. Right? The only thing we're getting from them right now, from a live action Star Wars perspective, is a throwaway series.
Yeah.
And I hate that.
Joey nails it. They're playing fast and loose with the Force, and it's losing its appeal. Do you remember when the Force was fucking magical? And now the Force isn't magical, so they're putting in magic. and it's sucks. It sucks. I hate it. Damn it! I wanted to smile.
You just do it like this. Smile.
You know what's
nice.
cool though?
Nice.
We get the fucking Magic School Bus is coming here in a couple months.
Oh no!
You excited for the Magic School Bus?
What is the Magic School Bus?
I think it's gonna be better than the Acolyte. I'll give you that much.
What is it though? What is the Magic
Skeleton Crew?
Oh. So I love John Watts. I love Jude Law. But remember, there has been some bad things about Skeleton Crew, right? You know,
No.
Well, no, but the people working on it, right? The visual effects folks and all that were like, we're overworked. It's not a great situation. And then we just recently heard
That's
from
just fucking Disney.
We just recently heard from Bryce Dallas Howard that she was so excited to be one of the directors, and she said, "Whoa, my God! I never expected to be seeing Jon Favreau there on set, you know, every day or whatever." I think
Johnny's working
there
the set on Skeleton
because of all these other things, because of the negativity. I believe that's why he was there, and of course, him and John Watts are great fans. By the way,
So you telling me they fucking listened to everyone when they said, "Hey, all your stuff is shit. We loved 1 and 2, and you got rid of them, and now you're fucking up."
So my opinion on Skeleton Crew is it will be better than the Acolyte, but I don't think it's going to be like. I don't think it's gonna. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be like, oh my God, orgasmic, right? I'm like, oh, I just watched another episode of Skeleton.
Is it what you were hoping for?
I mean, it's got Steve Urkel as a fucking pirate.
Oh my God, I forgot.
It's not going to be it's not going to be orgasmic, right? I hope it will be good, but I'm going to tell you. We're at a very low bar while they're still finishing Andor season 2. It's gonna be so fucking. I mean,
so I legitimately, and I know this sounds stupid, but I honestly I pray that Andor 2 is gonna do what it needs to do.
It will.
Because Gilroy's still doing 2, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Okay. So if anybody didn't know, and if you actually look at the viewer numbers. Andor was, and I have fucking problems with that show. Ask Risman. I've got a lot of problems with that show. It was the best Disney Star Wars that nobody ever watched.
But by the way, I have to tell you, because I'm on a rewatch because I got the physical media, and your boots. You have a problem with the boots, ski boots,
or snowboard boots.
Yes, and so they had them in the rack, and so they were in the rack and faced out, and they have the Imperial cog in the heel of the boots. I love it. It makes it even better. They're in the heel. The Imperial cog is in the heel of the boots.
They did so. It's the opposite end of the spectrum from Leslie Headland. I think Leslie Headland knows what she's doing, and she purposefully fucks it. I think the people on Andor had no idea what they were doing, and they fucked it.
I don't think that's true. I think Tony Gilroy had
it's like in Solo when they play the Imperial fucking march at the recruitment center.
I think
what are you doing?
I think Tony Gilroy had his plan for the series, and he relied on, I always call it the art department, but there's a cast of folks, right, to fill in the blanks. And that's why I think if you look, I guess, again, I just saw it and I laughed, between episodes 9 and 10, you know, the racks, the guns are there because there's only 12. The whole thing is there's only 12 guards, blah, blah, blah. But you see the boots, the orange boots, and they're in the rack, and on the front side, it's got the cog in the heel. And I'm like, that is so fucking Imperial. I loved it. But no one would ever see it but me.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's just so stupid. But somebody took the time to put the cog in that fucking boot.
On a fucking Burton snowboard boot. That's what's pissing me off. You're like, wow, the attention to detail. And I'm like, I see fucking retards walking around Truckee all day wearing these things. So I get it. Nice touch. bad start. That's all I can say.
I'm with you.
You know what?
I'm
Just
with you.
do a fucking rain boot. That would have been better. THX 1138. Put a fucking rain boot on. That's better than what they did.
But Toby Haynes, Bowie Williamson, you know, these folks that were involved in these episodes as writers or directors, they know fucking television, right? They know how to do these things. And this is what I don't understand, right? And I've said it before and I'll say it again. Disney owns ABC. ABC is one of the original television channels, right? They have been doing television since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Why do they not let those folks who know how to do television participate in making this series? It makes absolutely no fucking sense.
Well, I mean, Star Wars is always about moments. Star Wars has always been about moments, if that makes sense. So when you watch the original trilogy, you can think of in every single movie the moments. That's what sticks with us, right? That's how we see Star Wars, is the moments. It's all the build up to the moments. That's what we love. The one thing I will give Andor is that as slow as it is, you know, in certain areas, there's moments. I will never forget Homeboy's speech in
Number
Andor.
10. That was episode 10. There was Kina Loy's speech.
Yeah.
There was Luthen's speech. There was
Luthen's
even
speech.
a Mon Mothma business in episode 10. Episode 10 of Andor is one of the best pieces.
But there was so much bullshit with it too. That's what drives me nuts. If they
But it is-
smoothed out the bullshit, those moments would have landed.
But episode 10, One Way Out, is one of the best pieces. I will die on this cross. It's one of the best pieces of Star Wars Disney Plus content ever made. And it's one of the best pieces of television ever made, from a writing, from an acting, from
You know what they could have done to fix
impact.
that for me? If they wanted to fix the prison, if they wanted to fix all their weird fucking Tron shit that they did with the prison, have it run by the cloners. It would have made sense. If that was a Kaminoan designed prison, it would have made sense. Or Kaminoans were running it, it would have made sense. Like, you know, how do you have all these different people in this weird white sterilized facility? How do you control a bunch of different people? And you would have had a Kaminoan there to say, we've experienced this before. There were many clone defects who blah, blah, blah. And you would have a Kaminoan run that facility. Made sense.
But just when you didn't think it could get any better, they fast forward to the end and you realize what they were making in that prison, right? It's like the hold my beer moment, right? It's like we go.
We knew that from the get-go.
Say again?
We knew that from the start.
We never knew they were doing anything.
Oh, 100%. What the fuck else is the Empire manufacturing like crazy?
I mean, for me, it was like, I mean, they got people here doing bullshit.
Nah,
Who
they're making
cares?
fucking porta potties. Of course, they're making that fucking Death Star.
I mean, for me, I would be like, that's kind of dumb, right? If you're relying on prisoners to make your number one best thing ever, that's kind of dumb, right? So for me, I was like, I didn't think that. When we finally see it, I was like, okay, that's just the icing on the cake. You know, the 11 and 12 episodes, 11 and 12 in Andor, again, they're going to keep going. It just proves that if you hire people who know television, who know writing, who know directing, and then you bring in the actors and they get to direct them, it can be great. Okay, so what the fuck? Right? Why are we so inconsistent with how they're doing things? Do we not care? Maybe we don't care. Right?
So you know what I would have done? If I can just throw my 2 cents in there. Maybe this is why I shouldn't write Star Wars. Maybe it's why I should. What I would have done is had those cogs been the sides of TIE fighters. So the solar panels are the sides of TIE fighters. And I would have made a point in the show, as they're putting the cogs together, there would be a serial number on each, tying cog for the solar panels of a TIE fighter. And then what I would have done towards the end of the show, after the prison shuts down, everything's done, I would have come back to that unfinished panel, and then I would have had stormtroopers like grab it or whatever, put it somewhere, and then you would have a time lapse where it winds up on the side of a TIE fighter, and then put it there at the Battle of the Death Star. You would see that serial number come in, and then Red 5 would just take him out and then go into the trench. That would have been like a perfect tie-in to show that this show has an impact in the greater Star Wars universe. You would have seen that this small man in his small struggle in the cog of the Imperial Empire, that was a really shitty way to say that, in the Empire, has an effect on, the rest of the galaxy. It plays a part.
I mean, it's just...
but they wasted it.
It's two sides of the same coin, right? What you're saying about all that, blah, blah, blah. Now they're giving us that post-credit scene that what, they were, incarcerated. We don't know what we're doing. We have to do it, blah, blah, blah. They're building the Death Star. I mean, it's the same thing, right? I mean, it just shows what Tony was going for, right? It's like these people that don't know everything else that's going on, right? It's all a part of a bigger machine. It's all a part of a bigger, oppressive thing.
Yeah.
I mean, what we fucking get in the Acolyte is she's using a whip, behind her back, to get a. There's not. Oh, no. You know what the equivalent is we get in the Acolyte? Oh, it's unwise to disrespect a Wookiee's cooking.
Don't disrespect
That's
a Wookiee's
an actual line from the fucking show.
Some might call it unnatural.
Right? It's not a Luthen speech. It's unwise to disrespect a Wookiee's cooking. Ha 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 ha. You know what? Go fuck yourself. Right? Go motherfucking fuck yourself. Right? I just don't understand it. Right?
Well,
do they think it's fun? Are they punking us? Is that okay? Is that great?
You know what? That was the one thing the other day, you were talking about the Acolyte versus Book of Boba Fett. And you said, at least when we were watching the Book of Boba Fett, we were having fun.
It was fun. It was stupid.
It was shit.
But it was fun.
But at least it was fun.
It was
shit, but at least it was fun.
There is nothing fun about the Acolyte.
No.
I think Basil is supposed to be the fun, the beaver sniffer. He's supposed to be the fun part of it.
I get fucking annoyed every time I see that thing on screen.
Yeah, and so not only is he supposed to be the fun part of it, but if he actually ends up being the reason why Saul dies, they're just punking us, bro. I am convinced. I think this is like the fucking She-Hulk. This is the
She-Hulk.
This is the She-Hulk of Star Wars. Yeah. I am there now. I am really there now. They're just fucking punking us.
Fair comparison. We still got 90 people here. I hope you hit the like button. I have a question for you, Risman. I have a question for the chat as well.
I'm ready to believe.
Do you believe?
I do believe.
Chat, do you believe? Really quick, I mean, honestly, I actually have to ask the chat before we get out of here. Do you guys believe the beaver sniffer that beaver eats tacos?
He's a beaver sniffer.
Here we go. Daisy believes. Star Wars Dog believes. Ray believes. Do we have anyone else?
I believe.
Who
Joey says no. Joey says no.
continue your journey without me.
What are you... What? Master! You can't leave me!
You must believe.
Master!